ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Namaste, all of you. Welcome back to our continuing study of Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha from the pages of Poojya Swamiji's, Poojya Swami Dayananda Saraswati's Geetha home study course. In these sessions, we are studying Sankhya Yoga, chapter 2 of Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha, titled Sankhya Yoga, the topic of knowledge. The topic of knowledge. This chapter being the first chapter in which the teaching begins, the chapter in which the teaching begins, can be looked at as the Upakrama chapter, in which the teaching is introduced in shloka number 11. In the famous verse, Ashocyan anvashochastvam pragyavadamscha bhashase gatasoon agatasumscha na anushocanti pandita. First teaching shloka of Shrimad Bhagavad Geetha, chapter 2, shloka number 11. Na anushocanti panditaha, na anushocanti. A man of wisdom does not come to grieve. What doesn't he grieve for? Neither does he grieve for the living, nor does he grieve for the leaving, as Swami Paramarthananda, as Swami Paramarthananda would say often. He neither grieves for the living, nor does he grieve for the leaving. Because a man of wisdom knows the Nitya Vastu, a Vastu that is forever living and never leaving. It is eternal. It is Amrutaha. Amrutaha. It is immortal, never subject to mortality. So, this is the beginning of the teaching. Since this teaching begins in chapter 2, and because in chapter 2 we get a comprehensive picture of the Vedic design. It is aptly called the topic of knowledge, Sankhya Yoga. Because in this chapter, we get to learn about both Jnana Yoga and the means to Jnana Yoga. And therefore, this chapter can be called, in a manner of speaking, the Upakrama chapter, the beginning. Then in the Upasamhara of Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha, chapter 18, in the last teaching verse, Lord Krishna says again, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyah mokshayishyami. What are those last words? Ma shuchah. Through Jnana Yoga, I will help you discover your immaculate self, which is Satchidananda Swarupaha. And forever you will know there is no cause for grief, because you yourself are the eternal source of happiness. How can there be grief at all? How can there be even an iota of grief in you? Is what Krishna teaches in the final teaching shloka. How can there be darkness when you yourself are the sun? Like in Christianity, Lord Jesus Christ says, you are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. The same teaching is available in all religions. So, in the Upakrama chapter, we get both Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. In the Upasamhara chapter also, Krishna talks a lot about Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. So, Bhagavad Gita is a complete teaching. Because after all, it is based on the source books, the Upanishads. Sarvopanishado Gavaha Dogdha Gopala Nandana. So, in this chapter, after Arjuna surrenders to Krishna by saying Shishyasteham Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam, Krishna begins the teaching with a bang. He first teaches from the perspective of Atma, bringing out with great clarity what what anatma is and what atma is. What anatma is, Lord Krishna teaches in shloka number 14, a favorite of Swami Paramarthananda's. Matra sparshastu kaunteya शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः आगमापायिनो अनित्याः तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत. And then in shloka 15, Lord Krishna teaches, Yam hi navyathayantyete purusham purusharshabha samadukha sukham dhiram saha amrutatvaya kalpate. He who develops titiksha and samatvam at the anatma level alone qualifies for jnana yoga, jnanam, and amrutatvam, moksha. So Krishna teaches from the highest standpoint, atma anatma viveka. Then Krishna comes down to the level of dharma adharma. Dharma dhyuddha shreyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. O Arjuna, you must do your swadharma. You are not yet ready for jnana yoga. You are not yet ready for Rishikesh. Being a kshatriya, you ought to fight this dharma yuddha. You ought to protect dharma. You ought to fight against adharma. That is your bounden duty. However gory the battle, the war may be, Arjuna is going to lose his valorous son, Abhimanyu. Even if that be so, Krishna says you have to fight this war. And then, after this, Krishna sows the seed for Karma Yoga, which is what we have begun to look at. We are presently in Shloka 41. I will recite the Shloka and we will pick up the thread from where we left in the last capsule. Shloka number 41 reads as follows. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekeha kuru nandana bahushakha hyanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. Here's a running meaning just for the sake of continuity. With reference to this moksha, Arjuna, the descendant of Kurus, there is a single well ascertained understanding. The notions of those who lack discrimination are many. They are many branched and innumerable indeed. This is what Krishna says. So, One thing we must keep in mind is whether it is the study of the Gita that we undertake, or the Upanishads, or any other text based on the Vedic teaching, the vision is that you are already free and you cannot be improved upon. This is the vision. Since you are already Param Brahma, it is knowledge alone that liberates you. You need to know this. You have been hitherto ignorant. You have ignored this fact in several billions of janmas, human janmas, and other janmas. You have literally ignored this fact about your inner original self. The fact that you are Param Brahma, period. Since you already are Param Brahma, it is knowledge alone that liberates you. Because it is knowledge alone that can rid ignorance, right? To gain it, you should find a teacher and ask for the knowledge. Very important. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Krishna will say later on in the 4th chapter. You have to ask for the knowledge. In spite of the availability of such teaching, however, there is no guarantee that you will gain the knowledge, because the place where it must occur may not be ready. And knowledge has to take place in the antahkarana. Physically, you may be a mature person, an adult, but it does not mean that the antahkaranam, the mind, is ready for the teaching. A certain viveka or maturity is necessary. So, this mind that is necessary in order to receive the knowledge is accomplished by Karma Yoga. We have seen all this in the earlier capsules. So, whether you are a grihastha or a sannyasa ashrami, there is no compromise in the fact that you have to gain knowledge to get liberated. There's no compromise. There's no way, there are no two ways. But as a grihastha you are given a choice to use any proper method for developing antahkarana shuddhi, to prepare the antahkaranam for the guru and the shastra to sow the seed of jnanam. Similarly, a sannyasa ashrami, a vividisha sannyasi, has to purify his or her antahkaranam to make it available to receive knowledge from his or her guru. So, preparation is a prerequisite, after which you approach a guru, attend classes, clarify your doubts, establish clarity in the knowledge that you received, make it your own by going through a process of nididhyasana. So, Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam follow after preparing the Antahkarana. It has to go through these stages. Or, in exceptional cases, where a student at a very early stage in life is able to relate with this knowledge, the only answer to that exception is that such a student has already gone through the preparation in his previous janma or earlier janmas. Because without preparation, nobody can appreciate the depth of Atmajnanam, period. It goes without saying. We will now take our study a little forward and then continue studying this verse and the following verses, shlokas, in the upcoming capsules. In this verse, Vyavasaya means Nischaya. Vyavasaya means Nischaya, clarity. With reference to what you seek and how you are going to go about gaining it. Vyavasaya means Nischaya, clarity, with reference to what you seek and how you are going to go about gaining it. The buddhi, mind, therefore, is said to be eka, eka, single pointed. Or using Poojya Swamiji's favorite word, it is together. It is together. There is alignment in the thought process and in the expectations. Alignment between what is to be achieved and the means of achieving it. There is also only one goal, moksha, in the form of jnana, knowledge. That the goal, the end is clear, is itself a very big accomplishment. That the goal, the end is clear, is itself a very big accomplishment, says Poojya Swamiji. We will pick up the thread of this interesting discussion in the upcoming capsules and take our study forward. Hari Om.